And I will say, when the president gets knocked down, he gets back up.
When he gets knocked down, he gets back up. I mean, if he just, if he, God forbid, passes away in office and he's just lying there and he's just gone on his deathbed, they'd be like, we're waiting for him to get back up. He's gonna get back up anytime now, I promise. Again, have no standards. Just vote Democrat no matter what, just because you hate candidates so much.
Reassuring in that there were no findings which would be consistent with any cerebellar or other central neurological disorder, such as a stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or ascending lateral sclerosis, end quote. So that came directly from in February in that comprehensive report.
Yeah, because your health can't decline if you're in the month of February and we're in July now. All right, story time. So I had a close family member who actually had something called an aortic aneurysm that killed them, and they had a symptom of back pain. And so he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, it just looks like maybe you just pulled your back out. Well, guess what? They dropped dead in a few months later. So it's not like our health can just change all of a sudden. There's no way he could have Parkinson's or signs of neurodegeneracy. It's impossible for someone to have their health all of a sudden decline and go downhill. Or the more likely theory, you've been lying to us for the last 3 years. But let's just assume you're telling the truth.
Was this experts' visits? Was multiple visits to the White House pertaining at all to the president?
Well, here's the thing. I've said he has had three. He has had three physicals. In those 3 physicals, that's when he has seen a specialist, a neurological specialist. I have to be super mindful here, and this is why, and I'll explain this to you in a second. There are thousands of military personnel who come onto this White House. Many of them get the care from the White House medical unit, and so need to be super careful. There are, the medical unit hosts a wide range of specialists, from dermatologists to neurologists, and so I cannot speak to every person because there's actually a security reasons to protect their privacy. We respect and protecting people's privacy, so do not want to share. I'm not going to share people's names from here.
Do they not realize the irony that they just reauthorized NSA spying and spying on American citizens? And they want us to believe all of a sudden, like, hey, we care about your privacy. You guys can violate our privacy anytime you feel like it. Versus the people in charge, they have to have their privacy even though they're running for the highest office in the country. I think the American people have the right to know whether their president is actually neurologically healthy. I care about the United States and I care about our national security. And if the president can't do his job because he's too old, I think that's within the American people's interest to know about it. But at this point, I believe Joe Biden literally could just pass away in office, God forbid, and they would just be like, yeah, he's fine. He's just not doing any more public appearances anymore. Just believe us.
That's a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
How much you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're asking me. I also said to you, Ed, for security reasons, we cannot share names. We cannot share names. We have to.
Others he would have met with.
We cannot.
You can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards to.
We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to protect. I understand that. I hear you.
Right there for anyone to see.
The name is already public. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anytime you hear this phrase, national security reasons, usually the people are just fucking lying. And don't get me wrong, there are reasons to classify things like troop movements and stuff like this. But when it's actually of the national interest to know whether the American government is lying to its people, they're just going to say, oh, it's national security. We can't actually tell you all the truth. The American people can't handle the truth. We've been lying so long.
I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy. I think they would appreciate that too. We have to give them. We have to keep their privacy.
It is public information.
I hear you. Guys, hold on a second. There's no reason to go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
We missed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps around here.
What do you miss about? What do you miss about?
Everything he just asked about.
And then every time I come back and I answer the question that you guys asked.
Correctly, you don't have to come back and clean up.
I never answered the question incorrectly. That is not true. I was asked about a medical exam. I was asked about a physical. That was in the line of question that I answered. And I said, no, he did not have a medical exam. And I still stand by that. Matter of fact, the president still stands by that. He had a verbal check-in. That is something that the president has a couple times a week. a couple times a week.
Now in regards to Dr. Kevin Kennard.
And I am telling you right now that I am not sharing confirming names from here.
Just take a drawstring doll and just pull it over and over again. And it'll just say, hey, national security. Hey, he has 3 physicals a year. I mean, I could do this job. You literally just say, hey, okay, we had 3 physicals this year. You know, we can't confirm whether or not this person came here, even though he's a Parkinson's specialist and it's already public information, but I can't confirm it. National security. National security. National security. Stop asking me these questions. I just lie all the time. How dare the press challenge me? I'm just going to say they're uncivil.
That is as privacy for that person. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me from here. I'm just not going to do that. It is inappropriate. It is not acceptable. So I'm not going to do it.
Not about the name.
If you cannot confirm the name, can you confirm whether or not the president has seen this Parkinson's specialist? And you mentioned 3 times that the visitor logs show a duration of 8 visits every month. I think that is the crux of the question.
But I also said there are thousands of military personnel that come to the White House, and they are under the care of the medical unit. They are.
So can you confirm that the Parkinson's specialist visits were for the president or not?
What I can tell you is that the president has seen a neurologist 3 times, and I read to you what the neurologist has said.
Drawstring, same answer over and over again. Maybe they'll give up at some point.
No findings which would be consistent with any cerebellar or other central neurological disorders such as stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or ascending lateral sclerosis. That is from February. That is coming from February. That is what the medical unit, the president's doctor, shared.
Why doesn't she just end the press conference and walk out like Joe Biden usually does after he gives his speech? I mean, if you're just going to say the same thing over and over again, why do this press conference? Why stand up there and put yourself through that? But I guess just continue to take questions and lie to the American people and pretend the press is uncivil, even though there's supposed to be an adversarial relationship between our government and the press. I mean, they're used to the prostitutes going out there and saying whatever they like when they're getting direct lines of questions being like, hey, did the president see a Parkinson's specialist? Oh, he had 3 physicals last year. I'm just going to keep saying the same thing over and over again. Why you guys keep actually pushing me and trying to get me to answer questions? I don't know, national security.
Has the president, you mentioned Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, all of these things. One diagnosis that we have, or a potential diagnosis, is hydrocephalus, which is fluid buildup in the brain. It's something we've never heard in any of the medical reports. Is that something that the president has been about?
If it's not in the medical report, obviously it's not something that the president is dealing with. Well, I can tell you this. Just going back to Parkinson's for a little bit, so to give you some answers here, has the president been treated for Parkinson's? No. Is he being treated for Parkinson's? No, he's not. Is he taking medication for Parkinson's? No. So those are the things that I can give you full-blown answers on, but I'm not going to confirm a specialist, any specialist that comes to the White House.
I mean, if Joe Biden would just say, hey, we saw a Parkinson's specialist, we're on top of it. He doesn't have Parkinson's. We were concerned about it initially, but he does not have Parkinson's. But they refuse to even confirm they even saw a doctor for it. It's like Dianne Feinstein all over again. Obvious elder abuse, just keep pushing them through. Who cares? We're just going to keep doing this because we want to hold on to power forever.
President go to the Hill today. I know we saw his letter. Is he intending to have this conversation face-to-face with him?
So look, the president, obviously this is someone who is a senator for 36 years, who was the president of the Senate as when he was vice president for 8 years, and he truly respects the members of Congress, and has always and will always do that, especially as a former senator. And I will say, and you've heard us say this before, or most recently, is this is a president who's won the primary, right, by 14 million votes, 87% of those votes, certainly. And look, I don't have any engagements to read out, outside of that. But I will say that the president was in Pennsylvania. I just mentioned at the top, he got to see Senator Fetterman, Senator Casey. He also got to see Congresswoman Dean. He spent some time with them. They traveled across Pennsylvania. And I will say, when the president gets knocked down, he gets back up.
When he gets knocked down, he gets back up. I mean, if he just... if he, God forbid, passes away in office and he's just lying there and he's just gone on his deathbed, they'd be like, we're waiting for him to get back up. He's gonna get back up anytime now, I promise. Again, have no standards. Just vote Democrat no matter what, just because you hate candidates so much.
You've noted that there are thousands within the Walter Reed system who may be treated by a specialist who visits here at the White House, but this neurologist had a meeting with the president's physician, with his doctor. You're refusing to say if he was here to evaluate the president or if he was consulting on the president's health. So what then was that meeting about?
And I will say that Dr. O'Connor leads the medical unit. He leads the medical unit. No, because we will not confirm or speak to names that you're providing to me. It is out of security reason, is out of protecting someone's privacy. We're just not going to do that. But they are. The reason that I mention that is because there are 1,000 military members that do indeed use the White House medical unit. They do. They get care from that.
We're talking about the President of the United States.
Guys, I'm trying to answer the question so you can connect the dot that there are multiple neurologists that come, not neurologists, specialists that come through here because there are more than 1,000 military personnel here.
But you certainly could clear this all up just by saying what he was doing here and if it was connected to the president. Yes or no?
I am not going to confirm a particular neurologist, anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a dermatologist or a neurologist. I'm just not going to do that.
I'm surprised they actually aired that because it was so brutal. She's just a drawstring doll. I mean, she just keep pulling the same thing. She's like, I can't confirm or deny because of national security reasons. Oh, why are you guys so hostile to me? How dare you actually want answers for the American people? The Democratic Party is just a joke at this point.